Hey everybody, it's Michelle here from Kissed by Coco, and right now I've already made my cherry almond and honey soap. As you can see, it's a really light golden honey color. It was actually way lighter than this. It was like a creamy beige color, and as you put the honey in there, it starts to turn into a pretty golden honey color. But after this, because of the amount of honey that I already put in here, it's going to get a lot darker. So I'll be right back. It's time to pour it. As you can see, it's like in a very thin pudding state. I'm going to pour it into my molds, and I'll be right back. Bye. Now you can see, I don't know if you guys can actually see that color, but it's a really pretty, trying to get the angle. It's really orange looking. This camera isn't helping at all, but it's a really beautiful color. So just to let you guys know, and it smells divine. I'm playing with it a little bit because I want it to thicken even more before I pour it in the molds rather, because I want to decorate the tops and all that, and I don't want it to have to sit there and wait. And I'm going to C-pop this batch for the first time, which kind of scares me just because I didn't C-pop the first one, meaning put it in the oven to make it cook a little faster or let it set up faster. So we shall see. Okay, I'm back, and you can see now that it actually set up to be a little bit darker, and it's going to get even more dark. It's supposed to get really, really chocolatey brown. And by it setting up at this color, at this pretty golden color so early, I know that it's going to be the chocolate brown that I'm setting out for it to be. Alright, so now I'm just going to sprinkle my toasted almonds here on top. And this is the look for our cherry almond and honey soaps. Make sure I evenly disperse them onto the tops. Trying to hold the camera and do this at the same time, and I'm way off. Alright, so that's it, guys. Now I'm going to go ahead and plop these bad boys into the oven, and I'll be back with the final look on tomorrow. Well, probably not the final look, because within the next 2 weeks they'll get a lot darker. Alright, see you later. Bye. Thanks for watching. Hey, good morning everybody. It's Michelle here from Kissed by Coco, and today I'm cutting my cherry almond and honey soap. Hopefully that's not too close. This soap it's sold out. I posted yesterday. I'm sure many of you that follow me saw the post, but this soap sold out really quickly in December of last year, and this is my second time batching this soap. And it's a milk and silk soap. I can't see my lines, so I'm going to draw, and this doesn't harm it a bit, but I can't see the darn thing. I just line it up to this point so that I'm as accurate as possible every time. But the reason why I'm cutting it on the side this time around is because of the oatmeal on top. What happens is if you you know, just cut it like you normally would on the top, it actually comes through into the soap and it scars it. So I'm trying to avoid that. I'm trying to avoid having to plane the soap with my planer. But these are some beautiful bars, and people have been asking me and asking me and asking me, when am I going to make some more? And I'm like, oh. I really thought that the very first time I made the soap, the cherry almond honey soap, I actually thought that it was a mistake the way it came out, because it was really dark. I was going for a pretty, you know, color, and like this color is very orange looking, dark burnt orange, which is one of my favorite colors. And I was telling my husband, I was like, I'm not selling these soaps, I'm not putting these online. And it took me a while to put them online, and they just got darker and darker. And I was just like, okay, let me clean them up and see, you know, what happens. And then also the wrapping that I put on there helped it out a lot. So yesterday I put them in the oven. I cold processed, oven processed them. And I put them in the oven, and you know, when they first went in, they were very cream color, really pretty. And they came out into the dark, you know, orange color, and I was very excited. I was like, okay, well, let's see what happens in there. They're actually beautiful. So we'll see if they see how that comes straight and it creates that line, that curve in there. That's what I don't want. So I'm praying, and they smell so darn beautiful. The cherry almond scent is just phenomenal. So I'm hoping that these came out good. And if they did, they'll be ready in 2 weeks. I mean, they look good, so just, you know, because the amount of honey that I put in there, I'm hoping I didn't mess up the lather or anything like that. So within this next week, I'm going to be making a lot of changes in my personal life. Many of you know that I'm a graphic designer by day and a soap maker by night. And I'm just going to be making a lot of changes. So I'm going to break a lot of hearts. And I think right now is the time to make those changes. So slowly but surely I will make the change in my personal life. So I'm praying that everything works out well with this business, which it's Kiss by Coco is doing really well, and I'm excited about it. I never thought people would actually buy my soaps. I didn't think I would be, you know, at the point where I am now, where I get at least a few orders a week, and that's awesome. It's a really good feeling. And I can only say, you know what, it's just up from here. Literally. You can see a little bit of the honey in there. So at this point with these soaps, it's really good, and this is just a sample. It's really good to go ahead and cut them at least 24 hours later. It's been a little bit, let me give you guys a glimpse of this one, this loaf. It's been a little bit more than 24 hours because I did soak these pretty early in the day yesterday. So, and I did 2 batches back to back yesterday. I did black ice and I did my cherry almond and honey. When I first soaked oh no, I wasn't supposed to cut it that way. Oh, that's not so bad. Oh God. When I first soap these, they were first called Sweet Honey and Milk. And when I saw them getting darker and darker and darker, and I'm like, oh no, what happened? But I was happy with it, really happy with it. And my customers were very, very blown away by this soap. So guess it wasn't so bad after all. I guess not. I am making a mess with this oatmeal. These soaked really beautifully. So honey acts as a humectant, or emollient, sorry, and it brings moisture to your skin. So on top of the glycerin that's naturally produced in the soap, now you have honey in here, and the honey is what gives it the beautiful color. Technically these soaps are ready now because I processed them in the oven, but I like to let them sit for at least 2 more weeks just to be on the safe side. I like them to get harder and, you know, go through its natural process. That's what I like to do. These are beautiful. I'm sure when I post the picture, somebody has to say, oh, I thought that was cake. I think that needs to be a part of my oatmeal on the back. I don't want to make it uneven. It needs to be a part of my slogan. Oh boy. I tell you guys, I can do this all day long. So that's the goal. Hopefully I will be doing this all day long. You can see some little pockets of honey in there as well, which I think is really cute. These smell so good. Oh my gosh. We gave out one of these for Christmas, and they wanted to take a bite. Not only because of the way it smelled, it just looked very good. There's my telephone that I can't answer. So I'll sit here quietly for the whole entire day working. The phone doesn't ring unless I'm answering phones that day. And now it rings every time I want to make a video. I get a phone call. I think these actually came out a lot better than the last batch. Like I said, I was afraid of that batch. It sat for probably an additional month before I even attempted to wrap it. All right, last bar. My little sample. Let's take a final look. These are beautiful. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Bye.